So welcome back to another episode of Matt's Mailbox, where you guys send in your questions and I do my best to answer them. So if you'd like to get your question answered in the next episode, don't forget to leave it in the comments below, and if I do select your question, you could win yourself a pair of Battlefield 4 dog tags or some Battlefield 4 gunner glasses. So jumping straight into the questions, the first one today comes from Danny Darkhorse, and he asks, what are your thoughts on Titanfall? Would you like to see a beta, and could this game become a flagship title for EA? Well, the first time I saw trailers and gameplay of Titanfall was at E3 2013, and I'll admit, at the time, I didn't think this was going to be the game for me. I'm usually not into first-person shooters that are set far into the future with large robots and mechs, but when we went to Eurogamer and we actually got a chance to play Titanfall on the Xbox One, I actually enjoyed it more than Battlefield 4. Now, of course, Titanfall is an Xbox One and PC exclusive, but there were hopes that maybe in the future, if the series was successful, we may see later installments move across to the PlayStation 4 as well. But we've now heard that Microsoft have paid a large sum of money to make sure Titanfall stays an exclusive for the Xbox One and PC, so it looks like we won't be seeing Titanfall on the PlayStation anytime soon. And that, for me, I think will make a massive difference on how successful this game is. If EA want this game to be a flagship title to compete with the likes of Call of Duty, Battlefield, of course, another of their own titles, it has to come out across all three platforms. So unfortunately, whilst I am really looking forward to this game, making it as successful as Call of Duty and Battlefield is going to be very hard unless it does come out across all three of the major platforms. But with all that said, I do still think this game could be very, very successful, especially in today's market, because of course we've got a lot of very stale FPS games out right now, so to see a brand new series start up not only with a massive backer and publisher like EA, but also a pretty well-renowned team. Of course, Respawn are a brand new development team, but it has got guys involved with it who have worked on massive FPS titles like Call of Duty. And of course, a game of this nature isn't something we've seen on the market in a long time. This game's got a great mix of that fast-paced action we're used to in Call of Duty and that parkour essence we would see in Mirror's Edge. So mixing all those together is making for a pretty exciting game. And of course, from a YouTuber's perspective, this game is going to be great for entertainment. One of the first things I said after we played this at Eurogamer is this will be amazing to watch on YouTube because, of course, unlike your standard Battlefield and Call of Duty video, just crouch, run, lay down, shoot, jump, this game has got people running up walls, leaping over fences, snapping people's necks, fighting titans, titans fighting each other while you fight infantry on the ground. So the whole parkour aspect and the titans makes a lot more energy and just a lot more sheer entertainment to see in a video. Now, should this game have a beta? Well, being an EA title, of course they brought out betas and alphas for Medal of Honor and Battlefield. I'll be very surprised if we actually didn't see a beta for Titanfall, so I'm expecting to maybe see a beta, if not a closed beta, come out towards the end of January, early February time, if the game is still going to be released as expected in March. So I think we should see a beta, of course. We already know how useful betas are. If we want a more prepared and finished game on the day of release, a beta is definitely something that is needed. And the earlier the beta is, the better, of course. If it's right towards the end of the release date, it doesn't give them enough time to implement any changes that need to be put in. So the earlier and sooner we can get our hands on a real decent beta, not just a demo of the game, is going to make this game a lot more successful on the day of release. So moving on to the second question of the day, I thought we'd stick with the same subject of future titles, and this comes in from Ryan James, and he asks, "Hey Matt, how many changes do you see coming to Battlefront? Do you think it will be more like the old games or like Battlefield? How do you think the destruction will work in a Star Wars title?" Well, I already know from listening to interviews with DICE developers that they have said that Battlefront won't just be a reskinned version of Battlefield 4, so we're not just going to see a Battlefield game swapped around with Jedis and lightsabers. They are going to try and lean towards the older Star Wars games we've seen before. So I'm hoping and assuming we won't be seeing things like heavy barrel and foregrip attachments available for your plasma gun. I think just like the old Battlefront games, this is going to be a first-person and third-person game. You can choose which kind of angle you want to play this game from, and instead of just having very small maps, these are going to be more of a MMO-style game. So, of course, there are going to still be boundaries. It's not going to be a huge Chernarus-style map, but we're not going to see very small environments like we do on Call of Duty and Battlefield. Now, moving on to the last part of your question, this really did stump me at first. I've never really thought about destruction in a Star Wars game. Now, straight off the bat, you may say you wouldn't expect to see destruction because it's not really a Star Wars aspect, but of course, this game is being developed by DICE, and it's kind of their signature move to see heavy amounts of destruction available in the multiplayer. Now, of course, any combat game, be it Star Wars or Battlefield, having destruction available makes a game a lot more realistic, a lot more enjoyable, and a lot more immersive. So, I myself would love to see destruction in a Star Wars game, but how it will be implemented would be very interesting. And if we were to see it in the game, I'm going to hazard a guess that we'd see it on the level of Battlefield 3's destruction rather than Bad Company 2. We might be able to take the odd wall down here and there, and on the other end of the spectrum we could even see some Star Wars Levolution, so I'm unsure how it's going to play out, but it would be really interesting to see it in the game. But they're all the questions we have time for this week, guys. If you did enjoy this video and want to get your question answered and win yourself some goodies, don't forget to leave all your questions in the comment section below. And if you did enjoy the video, don't forget to hit like, it does help me out a lot. But in the meantime, guys, thank you for watching, and I will see you soon.